It is the J.R. Joker Show. Yeah, how you doing? Well, before we get going, I'm like obsessed. So just and be honest with me. Be frank. Does this postcard of the raising of the American flag on Mount Suribachi and Iwo Jima make me look fat? Be honest. Let me know. Write in. Okay. Or maybe telepathically send me a message. So, like, for years and years and years and years, I was with the Florida Film Institute, which kind of sprang off of the Film Society of Miami. If you ever watch me, I talk about that. Just saw lots of movies, and because of that, I got some, like, cred. People would ask my opinions. I would go on, like, even National Public Radio and give my review of a movie or whatever. In the last 20 years, I would say it's very easy to give a movie review. Someone will ask me, "Oh, they're showing some new movie there," and I don't even have to go. I really just feel like movies are just like stink. There are exceptions. The Coen Brothers, Wes Anderson, Martin Scorsese can still come up with, a good one. And I'm sure there are Chinese and Frenchmen and Poles and I guess that's about it. Italians, whatever, making a good movie now and then that doesn't cross my path, but mostly not. They're all pretty hyperbolic and formulaic. Sure, it's a product. Movies have got to make money because, well, like, if you put on a play, theater, you put on a play, you could do it without any money. I'll do a play for you right now. Oh, my son, what are you wearing? Look, Father, feathers on my arms. I will fly. I am flying. I challenge the gods. Oh, my son, I shall fly with you. Oh, we're flying to the sun. Oh, it's melting the wax. But we're going to die. We are dying. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so no makeup, no wardrobe, no sets, no camera. The moment you introduce a camera, it's money. Then it's millions of costs involved, from that point on. So, okay, you don't want to lose money, and you want to do better than break even. So you want to make money. And from the very, very, very beginning, once the novelty of this artistic development grabbed hold of the public, then you could get money for exhibiting the movie. My great uncles Beale and Coster, they were the first to exhibit a film for No Tiki No Movie in New York City. It turned into a Macy's, I understand, the building eventually. I haven't seen it in forever. So you have to make money. So all the big studios, MGM, Universal, 20th Century Fox, Republic, United Artists, whatever they are, Paramount. Sure, they wanted to make money. They dug it. Everyone makes money, whether you're in show business or not. Okay, and they call movies show business, but actually the business comes first. And you don't want anyone to give you the business. So, but they had pride. It's like MGM wanted to puff out their chests and say, we have the best French horn players in our orchestra and the best lighting director. Nothing looks as classy as an MGM movie. 20th Century Fox movies look pretty damn good too. Anyway, so they were going to make money, but they also wanted to have a little class, and they wanted their novel adaptations, to have also a ring of classicism about it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, eventually, it's, I don't know, probably starting in the post-studio era, which is kind of after World War II, then they became products, and especially the last 30 years, it's like, how much money do we make on the opening weekend? How much can be projected to make on the second, the third weekend? All these superhero crap movies, just, you know, just no one's going to remember these movies years from now. And people are still talking about Treasure of the Sierra Madre, one of my favorite movies, easily probably top three. Check it out, Treasure of the Sierra Madre. We don't need no stinking badges. But recently, a very famous movie maker, Steven Spielberg, redundantly remade a pretty darn good movie, West Side Story, which is like from 1960. And, well, there's no law saying you can't remake it. I'm sure, you had to pay some fee to the widows of the people who wrote and produced and composed, etc., the movie. And he made his take on it. 50 years of people watching their DVD or VHS and reel-to-reel, and what was after VHS? Oh, it was just DVD, and all that Blu-ray, all that stuff. And now, after being used to watching all that certain choreography and camera angles, etc., now a new one comes along. Well, Steven Spielberg, he's a pretty talented filmmaker. So if he had never seen the old one, then the new one would be cool, because the music's so darn good. You could just have hand puppets, doing it, and it would still be compelling. So I'm not here to say which was a better one. Actually, I've always wanted to comment about a problem with all three being the new movie, the old movie, and the play, West Side Story, the Broadway production of West Side Story, upon which were based both film versions I am discussing. Notice I ended that sentence without a preposition. Okay, so we all know the plot. It's Romeo and Juliet instead of the Montagues and the who the hell are the other family? It'll come to me. It's the Jets and the Sharks. It's the teenage gangs of juvenile delinquents instead of two families. So my first thing, which I always noticed, and tell me if you agree with me. Also tell me if you thought that postcard from Iwo Jima made me look fat. It's supposed to be teenage hoodlums. Okay, but when and I was a teenager and I went to high school, so I noticed that, yes, in the Broadway play, the Jets and the Sharks, and in the Robert Wise movie, The Jets and the Sharks, and in the Steven Spielberg movie, The Jets and the Shark, all look like people with whom I went to high school, yes. Well, we called those people teachers. This is the oldest bunch of juvenile delinquents I've ever seen. I mean, if you see The Outsiders, that's a little more believable, because Patrick Swayze is like the older, mentor of all these actors, all who went on to have great careers. Whoever cast The Outsiders, wow, good job. I think maybe Francis Ford Coppola cast it himself. He directed it, by the way. And so, so many actors had glorious careers after that. Almost every single member of the Outsiders gang, whatever they were called. But anyway, so in West Side Story, we got these, Rita Moreno was 30 years old. No one's a bigger fan of Rita Moreno than me. Love her just like everyone loves her. But even when I was 13, I saw this film. I knew that she was, I didn't do any research. I didn't know exactly how old she was, but I knew she weren't no teenager. But still great. And she walked away with the movie, put it in her hip pocket, and walked away with it. Won the Academy Award, and the first Latin woman. Okay, but she definitely deserved. It's one of those cases where the the best supporting actor or actress actually deserves it. There are some movies where you wonder. It's like some character might have like 8 minutes of screen time, like Beatrice Straight in Network. She's in like one or two scenes, short scenes, and maybe she did a great job. She can't do a bad job. She's Beatrice Straight, a great stage actress. But I mean, really, come on. Maybe she spent one day working on the movie, But anyway, and the aforementioned Treasure of the Sierra Madre has one of the most well-deserved Best Supporting Actors in Walter Huston, the father of the director John Huston, who just, the old prospector, again, puts the movie in his hip pocket and walks away with it. Absolutely fantastic. He alone is worth seeing, Treasure of the Sierra Madre. So we have these old teenagers. So now, what next bothers me about West Side Story is, of course, we have the plot is taken from Romeo and Juliet. Tony loves Maria, Romeo loves Juliet. Romeo's friend Riff gets killed by Maria's brother Bernardo, and immediately Tony takes revenge on Riff's killing by killing Bernardo, Maria's brother, not making for a real good start to their relationship. Now, in Romeo and Juliet, though, Romeo's brother, or friend, Riff, is Mercutio, and first of all, these guys, are all walking around with switchblades, except they're 3 feet long, and they're called swords. And they're all walking around with swords all the time. You don't need a lesson during the Renaissance to carry a concealed weapon. These are hardly concealed anyway. They got swords, and, if you're carrying a sword, it seems like you might be itching for a fight, because you can get one quick when everyone's got a sword. And things could not end well when everyone's carrying a sword. So they want to use you as a scabbard. Tybalt, Riff, he kills not Maria's brother, not Juliet's brother, but cousin. Romeo kills Tybalt, Bernardo, but in the movie it's Bernardo's brother, and that's a lot closer than cousin. I mean, a lot closer than. I hardly ever see my cousins. It's got to be like some big thing for me to see a cousin. Anyway, so I always thought that was kind of like, God, who Arthur Lawrence wrote the screenplay. I mean, you could think about it a little deeper. Why don't you just keep it a cousin? What'd you make it brother for? What to mention in the new version, they like all live together, and they're real close. Okay, so, but anyway, that's the way it is. So a boy like that kill your brother. Great music, a great drama, great tragedy to inspire operatic music. I love him. So but really, Maria's heart is like pretty susceptible to all of this. So when Tony goes to see Maria, about 20 minutes after killing her brother, I mean, he's a little trepidatious, It's not like he walks in and says, hey, in case anybody tells you they killed your brother, it's all baloney. Forget it. He went to the movies. I'm cool. No. He doesn't say anything. He looks kind of guilty and messed up and all that. And she had just heard from the people in the building, Nardo muerto. And she's, well, it's her brother, not just her cousin. It's her brother. And they are close. And to say that she's upset is to put it mildly. So like Tony comes over, and Maria's like, murderer, or, she's beating him on the chest. But I mean, this doesn't last long. It's like, murderer, murder. Okay, I'm over it. Let's go have sex. And they do. I mean, she got over it real quick. And so I never bought that, but it's okay. The music and everything's great. Um, and so that's like a little bit of mini movie review. We had to do a lot of that when I was with the Film Society of Miami. We'd always have these functions, and they would ask for your opinions, and I'd even go on the radio and stuff to give my opinions. Not TV. I would interview people for TV, but never give my opinion on TV. That was reserved for the second best medium, the radio. The second best electronic medium, not counting the internet, which is now taken over everything. And until we develop like crystals or mental telepathy to send out everything, I guess that'll stick around for a while. It wouldn't surprise me if it did. And then after we would have these special screenings with the Film Society of Miami, we would have these parties, these get-together, and people standing around with glasses in their hands. So like we went and saw this film produced by Quentin Tarantino, and somehow he shows up at the party. But he'd only made one movie and like co-produced this other low-budget movie that we just saw. And if you ever get a chance to see a movie called Curdled, don't. One of the worst movies ever made. And I think maybe he knew it because he was standing there in the corner like alone, like he felt rejected. I mean, we weren't walking around saying, "Oh, did you see that piece of crap?" But he wasn't really famous because he'd only made one movie, Reservoir Dogs. But he was well respected, but not famous yet. And I don't know, he was shy. He was just like standing there in the corner, like brooding, like James Dean or something. Well, okay, I've dropped enough names for tonight and torn apart West Side Story. So remember, write in and let me know if that postcard from Iwo Jima makes me look fat. Have another look. Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much. Haribo.